Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode number 3 of AR Fitness and Athletics. Today, we got a couple of very important topics to cover, so let's get to work. So up until now, we've done a lot of thinking, we've done a lot of planning, a lot of strategies, made some decisions. Where we tend to fail as humans is turning those plans into action. So a lot of times we make some great decisions. We've mapped things out and we know just how we're going to do it. Where we tend to slack off is actually doing it. So putting the plan into action. Now, it also holds true for the reverse. Sometimes we just take action without planning. Well, that isn't so great either because a lot of times we end up falling short. We don't have a vision. We don't have a strategy of where to get to. Sometimes we don't even know where we're going. So just having action and no planning doesn't work either. So we've got our plan and now we need to put it into action. So what does that mean, putting it into action? So if you're starting off and you've decided that you're going to become active, so you've picked your activity, you picked your time slot, you know exactly when you do it. Now you need to do it. Now you actually got to put your money where your mouth is, so the old saying goes. So at this stage, the next thing I want you to do is to actually act upon your plan. I want you to actually do what you've said or what you've written down or what you've told people to do. You need to actually do it. Now, you've already gotten started, so we've gotten past the hard part, right? The hard part is starting. So you've started. So there's no excuse at this point. Now you can take the action. That's what I want you to do. For those of you who already are involved in activity or sport, athletics, you say, well, what action am I taking? I'm already moving. The action is on the plans that you've made. If you decided that you're going to better what you're going to do, you're going to train harder, you're going to push harder in the game, you're going to try a new sport, then you need to do it. You need to move that plan into action. So if you're going to take 5 seconds off of your 1 mile run, then you need to do it. You've planned it, now we need to do it. So both are important. Again, planning and action. And like always, and like we said at the beginning, you can't have one and not the other and expect to have the results you want. So both have to happen. Which brings us to the next item. So you have planning and you have action. And you might say, well, which one's most important? And we've already dealt with that because we know that neither one is more important than the other. Like we said in the beginning, there's no part that's greater than the whole. So we need both. We need both for it to happen. So planning and action. So the second item I want to discuss is how we think. We tend to put or want to put things in a linear fashion. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you go downstairs, you get your breakfast ready, you get in the car, you go to work or you go to school. Very linear movement, very linear way of thinking. But the reality is that's only part of the day, which may have a linear flow, but really our day is never linear. It's never just step, 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 and get to the end. There's always a multitude of things happening at any given time, no matter whose day it is or what's going on. So even though you have your steps of how to approach leaving the house in the morning, it may be that somebody's missing a sock, or you get a phone call and you're thinking about what's going to happen when you get to work or school, and then there's always dinner to prepare, and you might be going to do your workout right after school or gym. So our day is not quite as linear as we think, and probably not at all. So I want you to start considering that things aren't as linear as we think, and the reality is that it's more of a juggling act on any given day. So you might say, well, I don't know how to juggle, but you do, because this is what we do on a daily basis, and that's a routine, that's a habit ingrained in us so much that we don't even realize that we're doing it, right? We're juggling home, we're juggling school, juggling our social life. So it's it's already happening. So now it's a matter of how well can we juggle? How many more balls can we throw in the mix? So what we don't want to do now is we don't want to throw too many balls in there at once because they're going to fall. So we need to learn how to juggle that one extra ball. And in this case, it's going to be physical activity. So again, we want to start moving away from linear thought and that things have to be so sequential or else you can't get to where you're going. And I say this because there's always going to be something throughout any given day, or almost always, that you're going to have to deal with. Maybe it's traffic, trying to get home and do your activity, or maybe you do your activity in the morning, but you have a flat tire when you go and start the car. So there's always something to deal with. And when we start thinking in too much of a linear fashion, those little things might throw us off completely. But if we come to grips to the fact that every day is going to be a juggling act, now we can deal with it, because now we know that when we wake up in the morning, we have our plan, which is great, and definitely want to wake up in the morning with a plan, but we have to be ready to deal with whatever comes at us. So you might be 5 minutes off in your timing, or maybe there's no coffee in the morning and you forgot to buy coffee. Oh my God, the whole day is ruined. Well, not really. We adapt. We get on track. You stop at the local coffee shop and get a coffee, or you wait until you get into work. Or you know what? Maybe you just don't have it that morning, and that's fine. You have a glass of juice. You change it up. So I want you to start pushing away from such linear thinking to thinking that if things don't happen in a certain sequence, then it can't happen at all. And that's not the issue, or that's not the reality of it. So we are going to learn how to adapt as we go along in this program. And this way you can still have your plan, but you can still get on track should something throw you off track. So those are the two big items for today. And as I said last time, next episode, we're going to start showing you some exercise and some activities, and we're going to start making this a physical thing. We're going to start acting on our plan. So stick around for that, and I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you very soon.